What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today is going to be sort of a basic training video. No racing, no outdoor riding. It's kind of cold and wet, but I am out here having some breakfast, getting some vitamin D. The clouds are moving insanely fast today. It's one of those days where it's going from sunny to cloudy in like half a second because these clouds are just zooming by. But today on the calendar, we just have 1 hour easy. Actually, I'll probably make it 90 minutes easy if I have time. Just doing some zone 2, some recovery. And I actually wanted to talk a little bit about kind of training and coaching. And the reason is that I signed up for TrainerRoad yesterday after hearing a lot about it. And I've listened to the TrainerRoad podcast for quite some time now. Not like every episode, but I have some good insight into it. And I listened to the Nero show as my main podcast, and they recently had an episode with Jonathan Lee where they basically talked about TrainerRoad, and that one was pretty interesting to listen to. But yeah, I was working with a human coach a little bit last year. Sounds kind of weird to say, but I think kind of in this topic nowadays, you got to specify like human coach or AI coach, because that seems like kind of the direction that the industry might be headed. And I'll link to this podcast. It's super interesting. You might immediately get the idea that like an AI coach is going to replace a human coach, but that's totally not the case. Actually, in terms of what might be best for an athlete, if money is no object, then you should work with an AI coach like TrainerRoad in conjunction with a human coach. And both can provide really unique benefits and complement each other really well, as opposed to, competing with one another. Yeah, the main thing that I was kind of interested in with TrainerRoad is I'm part of a team, and so I do a lot of kind of group rides and racing. Throughout the summer, there's a lot of racing. We have a series here in Seattle that's every Thursday night, and then there's pretty much a group ride every Saturday. So, most weeks I'm riding with a group 3 to 4 times. So it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for kind of more structured workouts. So I like the idea that an AI model can kind of tell me what is best for me on those off days where I'm not riding outdoors. And maybe it can even suggest workouts that I might want to prioritize over riding outdoors. But yeah, I was saying I like the idea that TrainerRoad will just automatically suggest workouts. You just tell it how much time you have, and it'll suggest something based on your recent fitness and your recent rides. So if you had a couple of really hard days, it'll suggest an easy recovery ride, such as today. But if you're kind of fresh, then it might suggest a hard threshold or VO2 workout. So I like that it'll be able to fill in the days where I'm not riding with a group or racing, because I found that it was really hard to kind of coordinate that with a coach. In an ideal world, if you want to build up your fitness, you're just going to be training, every day, 6 days a week. You're not going to be riding with a group. You're not going to be racing. You're just going to be purely focusing on progressive overload and, just doing really structured things. And I do think that's the quickest way to gain fitness. But at the same time, it's not the most sustainable way. It's really fun and motivating to ride with other people. And obviously, we need to race. That's why we do it all. So you need that competitive itch. And then, as a human with emotions, you need to go out and just smash some hills with friends, show off your fitness a little bit. And certainly hard group rides will give you the motivation to push harder than if you're just, training alone in your pain cave. So there certainly is value to mixing structured and unstructured riding. But yeah, we're gonna hop on the trainer a little bit. All right, so check this out. I want to show you guys my lunch, and this is literally the meal to end all meals. This is such a good meal. It is, I'm obsessed with this meal lately. It's so good. It tastes good. It's super nutritious. It's super easy to make. It's easy to assemble, to put together. You can make large quantities. It literally checks all the boxes for me. So, carbohydrate, we got our white rice, whatever. Always have white rice. White rice is goated. Now, for protein, we got protein, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can do your own protein. I cooked some New York strip steak a couple days ago, so I just have that left over. But whatever, you can use chicken, beef, ground beef, steak, doesn't really matter. Frozen broccoli florets. Heat them up, thaw them a little bit, and then slice them up. Red onion, just chop it up, throw it in there. And sometimes I have this, sometimes I don't, but my wife sometimes just makes some sweet potato, which she puts in the air fryer. Just chop that up, put it in there, season it all with pretty much just salt and garlic powder. Heat it up, toast it up a little bit, fry it up, mix it up. It is so freaking good. You get this beautiful, colorful mixture of healthy fats in the olive oil, healthy vegetables. You got your protein, you got your carb. It tastes good. It is literally the perfect meal. I'm obsessed with it. I'm just obsessed with food that is nutritious and easy to make, because typically unhealthy food is quicker and easier to make, whereas healthy, nutritious food, whole foods, are a little bit harder to make, but obviously are way better. So when I find good meals or kind of preparation methods where you can bring everything together quickly, efficiently, and in large quantities, and still get like a super healthy meal, just makes me so happy. About to hop on the trainer. Today we have the smiley face bibs. I call them that because I crashed in them a while back. And if you look upside down, it kind of forms a little smiley face. All right, so we're on the trainer. So I wanted to chat about productive versus non-productive riding. When you first get into cycling and training, you'll quickly realize that it's actually pretty easy to make a bunch of progress. And a lot of people were telling me this last year. It doesn't really matter what you do. You're gonna get fitter, you're gonna get stronger. Whether that's indoor training with lots of zone 2, high volume or low volume with a lot more intensity, or if you're just doing totally unstructured stuff, you know, just going outside, riding without much of a plan, joining your local group ride, whatever. When you're new, the progress and the gains will come fast. But so as I've progressed, just to give you guys an idea of where I'm at, I'm not crazy strong, but I recently did 5 watts per kilo for 5 minutes, which I was pretty happy about. I don't know what percentile that puts me in, but I think I'm like solid mid-tier. But to be honest with you, I want to keep progressing super fast. And I'm only in my 2nd year of racing, and I was able to go from Cat 5 to Cat 3 in 1 year last year. The point that I'm trying to make is I'm finding more and more that as you get stronger and fitter, it becomes more and more difficult to keep getting stronger and fitter. And I was listening to an episode
of the TrainerRoad podcast recently. I'll put a link down below. But something that really resonated with me that Jonathan Lee was saying is that just because you are super fatigued from a bike ride does not mean that that session was productive whatsoever. And I really have been feeling that recently, which is one of the reasons that I signed up for TrainerRoad, and I'm going to start using TrainerRoad a little bit. But I have a concrete example this week. I raced on Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, easy recovery days. And then Tuesday, I went out for a hard group ride with my team. We were about 8 people, and it was relatively chill, but there are 2 climbs that we do that we just hammer super hard. And to be honest, I was just on the limit. I think the second climb I averaged 190 beats per minute, and my power output wasn't even that good. It was a 2-hour, 22-minute ride, TSS of 148. So we did 2 climbs, and both of those climbs were around 300 watts for 5 minutes, but they're really close together, so you don't get much of a recovery time. And honestly, when I got home from that ride, I did not feel great. My legs were destroyed. They were super sore, but I felt that it had not been a really productive session, that I was just, kind of pushing for nothing, which is not a great feeling. So the next day, which was yesterday, Wednesday, I did my first TrainerRoad workout, and it was a threshold workout. It was a 90-minute workout, 25 miles or so, and 81 TSS. And essentially it was 4 kind of threshold efforts with plenty of recovery in between. I'll put up the stats. It was around, they're kind of over-unders, but very short over section. The under section I did around 247 watts, and then the over section was, 260 or so. To be honest, I felt so good after that workout. I was kind of equally fatigued compared to Tuesday, but it felt like so much more of a productive session, because if your goal is to increase your threshold, which is not necessarily my goal, it's not my main goal, but it is, I guess, one of my goals, then as you get fitter and fitter, it becomes more and more important to do very specific things to achieve that goal. So I just mentally felt a lot better, felt a lot more productive. It felt like I was doing just the right amount of work. So yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, if anyone has experienced something similar, where as you get stronger and stronger, you need to focus more and more on productive workouts and specificity instead of, what people call quote unquote junk miles. And I don't know about if, of course I think any riding is good, but in terms of making, the right amount of progress, having a ton of structure definitely helps. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to chat about as we go through this boring kind of zone 2 90-minute ride. So yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, please, for the algorithm and the channel growth. Drop a comment if you got any comments, and see you guys in the next one.